Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Thank you for clicking this video. Before we start the video, let me ask you something. Are you a teacher or prospective teacher? Or just want to know how to teach people about writing and reading skills in a different way? Well, your choice is really good by clicking this video. This video will provide information about how to teach reading and writing skills by using literature. So, let's get started the video. Do you know about Malin Kundang, Si Kancil, or Tangkuban Perahu? Have you ever heard about it? Yes, you're right. Those are the title of short story. Why do we talk about short story? Because short story is a part of literature. Short story is a piece of prose fiction that typically can be read in one sitting. Briefly, short story is fictional prose narrative that is shorter than a novel and that usually deals with only the few characters. And of course, short story is one of literature that can be used to teach the students and help them to improve their reading and writing skills. In this video, we will provide some methods that can be applied in the classroom to improve students' reading and writing skills. For the first, to improve reading skills, the methods that are really recommended are choral reading or CR method and POR method. And to improve writing skills, the methods that are highly recommended are color coding method and rubric method. So, let's get started for this.
Well, in this video, you will watch how interesting short stories to be used as a material for teaching English. So, here we go. Short story is a brief fictional prose narrative that is shorter than a novel and that usually deals with only a few characters. The short story is usually concerned with a single effect conveyed in only one or a few significant episodes or scenes. The various types of brief narratives, just, anecdote, short allegorical romances, moralizing fairy tales, short myths, and abbreviated stories.
Hello everyone, I'm Yunita. I'd like to explain you a method that you can use in the classroom to teach your students to improve their reading skills. So, this method is known as choral reading method. This method means when you ask your students to read a text together with their friends in the classroom. You may think that it will be very interesting, right? Yes, you are absolutely right. But the problem is you may cause your students feel bored in the classroom. Some of students. So how to solve the problem? You need to add some strategies. What strategy? You can use literature. By using literature, there are so many kinds of literature, and in this video I will concern to use short story. So the first step is you give a short story to your students, then ask them to read loudly together, and then when they find the conversation between the characters of the story, ask them to imitate or just make a different sound of each character. Let me give you the example. As you can see on the screen, there's a story about Timun Mas, so I'll read the story loudly. When the third time Butuijo came, their parents had prepared something for him. They gave Timun Mas several bamboo needles, seeds of cucumber, dressing, and salt. Timun, take these things. What are these things? These are your weapons. Butuijo will chase you. He will eat you alive. So run as fast as you can. And if he will catch you, spread this to the ground. Now go. You need to make different sounds of the characters. So
how to teach literary works for students? Here is one simple method for you. It is PORPE. P-O-R-P-E stands for predict, organize, rehearse, practice, and evaluate. This is a method to teach students reading comprehension. This comprehensive strategy prepared students for planning, monitoring, and evaluating the content area of the text. The method prepares students to predict some question, organize or summarize the key ideas, rehearse or recite aloud in front of the class, practice by answering the predicted questions, and evaluate their tasks by themselves before collected to the teacher. These activities take place after the students read the text, and the goals of POUR method are to increase students' reading comprehension and increase conceptual learning in a way that maximizes students' involvement.
In teaching English using literatures, we know that writing skills are needed, especially in this material that we discuss in this video, namely the short story. This video, I will tell you how is the smart strategy in teaching writing short story. Well, smart strategy that we can use in teaching writing short story is color coding. What is color coding? Color coding means to give mark or code to word or sentence by highlighting the word or sentence with colors. So I will tell you how to use this strategy. First, color coding can assist students in distinguishing between concepts and ideas. So this is the example of how color coding can be used for main idea in short stories and detail. But it can also use for compare and contrast author's purpose. And then fact versus opinion and etc. In this example, the main idea is always yellow, while the key details always green. Next, another color coding strategy is selective highlighting. These strategies require explicit teaching, extensive modeling and support, as well as clear students' directions. However, when implemented correctly, it can help students organize their learning and deepen their comprehensions. This is the example of selective highlighting and the instructions. First, highlight the vocabulary word in pink. Second, color the main idea in yellow. Next, highlight the supporting details in green. This is an example of selective highlighting in a short story. As you can see, there are "Sar are really cool fish." "Sar are really cool fish" are highlighted in yellow color. It means that "Sar are really cool fish" is the main idea of this paragraph, and so on.
Next, teaching English using literature can use the rubric as the method and short story, especially legend story, as our teaching materials. These teaching methods and teaching materials can be used in writing skills. The rubric method is where you give several short story or a legend story to your students, which will be evaluated together regarding to weaknesses, strengths, and generic structure of the legend story. And now, how to teach English by using this rubric method and using a legend story as our teaching material. First, you can give two examples of legend story, where the first story is not in the past form or still using a present form, and then you give an example of a legend story that has been written in the past form. Then you and your students jointly evaluate between two legend story, and you with your students analyzes the generic structure of the legend story and make an outline of the story. Last, you can provide an outline of a legend story that the students knows or come from the area where students live, and then the outline will be completed by students who will produce a legend story according to the outline that has been given. And after completing the outline, students can self-assess the result of the legend story they have written. You can use this rubric as an assignment to give to your student to assess their story that have been written before.